Robinson Crusoe was born in the city of York in England in the year 1632. His father was a merchant who had come from Germany and done very well in business. Robinson was the youngest of three brothers. His oldest brother had joined the army and died in war. The middle brother had gone missing, and no one knew what happened to him. Because of this, Robinson's father wanted him to stay safe at home. He told Robinson many times, "If you stay here, you will have a good, quiet life. If you go to sea, you will be unhappy." But young Robinson didn't listen to his father's advice. He dreamed of sailing across the ocean and having exciting adventures. When Robinson was 18 years old, he met a friend who was going to London by ship. Without telling his parents, Robinson decided to join his friend. His first day at sea was wonderful. The sun was shining and the water was calm. Robinson thought sailing was the best thing in the world. But then a storm came. Dark clouds covered the sky. The wind howled like a wild animal. Huge waves lifted the ship up and then crashed it down. Robinson had never been so scared in his life. The ship rocked violently from side to side. Robinson fell down and hurt himself. He was sure the ship would sink. He prayed to God, "If you save me, I promise I will go home and never sail again." The storm lasted all night. In the morning, the sea became calm again. The sailors fixed the broken parts of the ship. Robinson forgot about his promise to God and continued his journey. After arriving in London, Robinson met a sea captain who liked him. The captain offered to take Robinson on a trading trip to Africa. This was a chance to make money by buying goods in one country and selling them in another for a higher price. Robinson did this for several years. He learned how to be a good trader. But on one trip, pirates attacked his ship. These were bad men who robbed ships at sea. The pirates captured Robinson and made him a slave in North Africa. For 2 long years, Robinson worked for his master. His job was to fish every day to provide food. It was hard work under the hot sun. He dreamed of escaping but didn't know how. One day, his master sent Robinson fishing with 2 other slaves, a man named Ishmael and a boy named Zuri. They sailed a small boat far from shore. When no one was looking, Robinson pushed Ishmael into the water. Then he told Zuri, "If you stay loyal to me, I will make you free." Zuri promised to help. They sailed south along the coast for many days. They had little food, just some bread and fresh water. At night, they had to be careful of wild animals that came to drink at the shore. Sometimes they caught fish to eat. After about 2 weeks, they saw a Portuguese ship. The captain was kind and rescued them. He offered to take them to Brazil. In Brazil, the captain bought Robinson's boat and gave him money for it. This was the start of Robinson's new life. In Brazil, Robinson worked on a sugar plantation. He learned how to grow sugar cane, which was very valuable. After 4 years, he had his own plantation. Life was good, but Robinson wanted to make more money. Some plantation owners asked him to join a trip to Africa to buy slaves. Even though he was comfortable now, Robinson agreed. This was a big mistake. On September 1st, 1659, just 7 days after leaving Brazil, a terrible hurricane hit the ship. For 12 days, the storm tossed the ship like a toy. The sails were torn and water filled the ship. The crew worked hard to pump out the water, but it was no use. One morning, the ship hit sand underwater. The waves smashed the ship against. the rocks. The captain fired guns as a distress signal, but no help came. The ship was breaking apart. Robinson and the crew got into a small boat, but a huge wave overturned it. Robinson was a strong swimmer. He fought the waves and finally felt land under his feet. He had reached a small island. When he could stand, he looked around. He was the only survivor. All his shipmates were gone. That night he climbed a tree to sleep because he was afraid of wild animals. He was so tired that he slept even though it was cold and raining. In the morning, Robinson saw that the ship had been pushed closer to shore by the tide. He swam to it and found many useful things that were still dry inside. He made a raft from broken wood and loaded it with tools, knives, axes, hammers, guns, and bullets food, flour, rice, cheese, bread, rope, cloth, and clothes, even some money, though it was useless on the island. It took many trips to bring everything to shore. He also saved the ship's dog and 2 cats. For the first weeks, Robinson lived in a tent made from sails and wood. He built a fence around it for protection. Every day he went hunting for food. He found wild goats on the island and learned to catch them. He kept track of time by making marks on a wooden post. He wrote in a journal every day. At first he felt very sad and lonely. He missed other people. But slowly, he learned to enjoy his simple life. One day while exploring, Robinson found a perfect place for a home. A small flat area near a hill with a view of the sea. He cut trees and dug into the hill to make a cave. It took many months, but he built a strong house with a door, shelves, and even a chimney for cooking. He learned to make bread by planting seeds he found in the ship. He made pots from clay to store food. He sewed clothes from animal skins when his old clothes wore out. He even made an umbrella from skins to protect himself from the sun and rain. Years passed this way. Robinson had everything he needed. He had food, shelter, and safety. But he was still alone. Then one day, something amazing happened that changed everything. Robinson was walking along the beach, as he often did, looking for anything useful that might have washed ashore. The tide was going out, leaving the sand wet and smooth. That's when he saw it, a single footprint in the sand. His heart began to pound like a drum. He stared at the footprint, unable to move. It was clearly a human foot, toes, heel, everything. But how? He had been on this island for over 15 years and never seen another person. Robinson ran all the way back to his cave. His hands shook as he barred the door. All night he lay awake, listening for sounds outside. Was someone watching him? Were there cannibals on the island? For weeks after this, Robinson barely left his cave. He moved some of his goats to a secret pen near his home so he wouldn't have to go far for food. He made sure his guns were always loaded. He even built a second hidden room in his cave where he could hide if needed. Then one evening, as Robinson was cooking his dinner, he saw smoke rising from the far side of the island. His blood ran cold. Someone had made a fire. He climbed to the top of his hill and looked through his telescope. Far away, he could see people on the beach, dark figures moving around a fire. That night, Robinson couldn't sleep. He kept imagining savage men coming to eat him. The next morning, he went carefully to that part of the beach. What he found made him sick. bones from human bodies. These visitors were definitely cannibals. For the next 2 years, Robinson lived in fear. Every time he saw smoke or heard noises, he hid. He stopped firing his gun so no one would hear it. He moved around the island like a shadow, always watching, always listening. Then one day, everything changed again. Robinson was watching from his lookout spot when he saw a canoe land on the beach. Several men got out, dragging prisoners with them. Robinson knew what was about to happen. They were going to eat these poor people. As the cannibals started their terrible feast, one prisoner suddenly broke free and ran straight toward Robinson's part of the island. 2 cannibals chased him, but the man was fast. Without thinking, Robinson ran down to help. He shot one cannibal with his gun. The other cannibal turned to fight, but the prisoner picked up Robinson's sword and killed him. The remaining cannibals in the distance were so frightened by the gunshot that they jumped in their canoe and paddled away quickly. Robinson turned to look at the man he had saved. He was young, strong, and very frightened. Robinson took him back to his cave and gave him food and water. At first, the man couldn't speak. He just knelt before Robinson and put Robinson's foot on his head to show he would be his servant forever. Because Robinson met him on a Friday, he decided to call him Friday. This began their life together on the island. Friday learned quickly. Robinson taught him English words, first simple things like yes, no, eat, and drink. Friday showed Robinson how to make better traps and catch fish in new ways. They became good friends, not just master and servant. One day, Friday told Robinson about his people. He explained that the cannibals only ate their enemies, not their own tribe. Friday said there were white men like Robinson living with his people across the sea. This gave Robinson hope that maybe one day they could escape. Together, they built a bigger, better boat. They collected food and supplies. Robinson taught Friday about Christianity, and Friday told Robinson stories from his own culture. Life was better now that Robinson had company. Then, one morning Friday came running, shouting, "Master, master, come see!" He dragged Robinson to the hilltop. Out at sea they saw a ship, but it was acting strangely, moving in circles. As they watched, small boats left the ship and came toward the island. Robinson and Friday hid and watched. They saw sailors arguing. Some men tied up others. It was a mutiny. The captain and a few loyal men were being left on the island. Robinson knew this was their chance. That night, he and Friday crept up to where the captain was tied. "Don't be afraid," Robinson whispered. "We want to help you." With Friday's help, Robinson made a plan. They gave guns to the captain and his men. Together, they surprised the mutineers. Some fought, but when they heard Robinson's guns and saw his fort, they surrendered. The real captain was so grateful that he promised to take Robinson and Friday back to civilization. After 28 years, Robinson was finally leaving the island. As the ship sailed away, Robinson stood at the rail watching his island grow smaller. He thought about all the years he had spent there, the fear, the loneliness, but also the strength he had found in himself. Friday stood beside him, smiling. Both men were starting new lives. When they reached England, Robinson learned that his family had thought he was dead long ago. But his plantation in Brazil had been making money all this time. He was now a rich man. Robinson married and had a family. He even returned to visit his island once, bringing supplies for the people living there now. But he never forgot the lessons. He learned during his long years alone that with patience, faith, and hard work, a person can survive even the most difficult situations. The end.